Two very weak. Yeah, ODT, right. Is it Italy 03 or 4? Right. Is your name Graziano? IZ2ODT. Okay, Graziano, thank you. You faded up at the moment. You faded up. Thank you so much for the call. I remembered the ODT and Graziano, and that's all I could remember. So IZ2ODT. Right now, you're 5 and 5 from W2, very weak. Roger, roger, roger. Well, we'll take 5-8. No problem. If I can write that down. Receive, sent, 5 and 5. Very good. Very good, Graziano. Good to hear you on here. Band conditions are not excellent, but they're sort of okay in short little bursts. Yeah, here. IZ2ODT from W2VW. Yeah, I copy. Propagation is no good. You're right. You're right. Propagation is not that good between us right now. I did hear Aldo on before, calling CQ for a while. He was coming in here, no problem at all, 5 and 9 plus. But that was a few minutes ago. That was maybe 15 minutes ago on this frequency. Anyway, Graziano, thank you for the call and good DX to you. Hope to work you again soon when the band is in good condition. I expect to be here. IZ2ODT from W2VW. Ciao. Anybody else around? QRZ 10 AM, W2VW. Oh, that's a signal. Whoever that was, you have no modulation whatsoever. CQ10, CQ10 AM calling CQ10. CQ 10 meter advanced modulation telephony from W2VW in southeastern Pennsylvania calling CQ10 AM. CQ 10 meter AM phone. This is W2VW, W2 very weak, calling CQ 10 AM and listening. armchair copy. My chair is not modulating fully though. I have to work on that problem. W2BTK. Calling. This is W2VW. W2 very weak calling. Hey, wake up! Audio processor.
You don't need any of that audio processing stuff. You need yourself a 2.5K audio filter and a more efficient mode.
When your ship's going down, nobody cares about your audio. You need to conserve bandwidth for all the other operators that are on, that aren't here.
Man, I'm getting you a multipath right now. It sounds like you got like stadium echo.
Oh man, I can't wait to play that back. I played the one back from last night, thank you. It was very, very informative.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds like audio processing. That's crazy. W2BTK.
W2BTK from W2 very weak. You're coming in here, it looks like almost exactly the same as last night, which is stupid. Which means I'm not hearing much of your backscatter. I know Nick VE3OWV is on 29080, and I usually hear him via backscatter, and I'm not able to make out his signal today, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The path isn't what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's good between us, though. I'm still taken aback by the way that sound. It really sounds like you're running some kind of reverb or echo. Like, that's just crazy. But when you first came on, I was listening, excuse me, on 29000, and you keyed up. I was just like, dang, like that sounded really good. I didn't start this recording until a little bit into it, but yeah, the same as last night, maybe a little better. I mean, you're screaming in here because it's a lot more stable, whatever's going on now. Jeez.
Yeah, I'll give it, there's a little bit less disturbance on your signal. I'm giving it a close listen and look. It's right now, it's as good as it was last night at any time, except for that one enhancement we got from the airplane.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I wasn't able to hear it or see it, but yeah, now I'm thinking about the guy that lived near Newark Airport. This band is fun. This is a good band.
Yeah, it's fun when it works. W2VW at 1450 Zulu.
And W2BTK, local time, 9:51 a.m.
Yeah, I got my old digital time meter from the late 1940s. It might even be a pre-war design, but this one's, you see it in old QST magazines with like a Collins 32V or something. I bought all the decals to renew it. I'm waiting for one of my grandsons to be over here, and we'll take it apart and go over it.
Oh, that's big fun. Yeah, I'd have to. I know that I think 7 o'clock here is like 12 Zulu. So like 7 p.m. here, I think, is midnight. But I can't do the math. That's a good project. I'm looking for a little kind of electronics, well, not really electronics, but like something like a little modular robot or car or something that you can't just take out of the box and mess with it. You got to do like something or put it together right, and then you can play with it. Trying to look for something like that for Cooper. I think he would get a kick out of that, but nothing like too challenging yet, because he's still, you know, just something that you got to put together a little bit. I'm looking for.
How old is Cooper?
He's 8, I think, 7 or 8.
Oh yeah, that's the right age if he's interested. That's good. That's not a wait and see. That's right there.
Yeah. And he does enjoy stuff like that. I'm just trying to gauge what would, I don't want to frustrate him, you know. I want him to get it and build it and be like, wow.
Yeah, what you do is you start out with a slam dunk project, something that you know isn't going to be frustrating, and then you move on to the stuff that requires more, and that's how it works.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that. I want to get him something for Christmas that could be like that, you know, him and his dad or him and me or somebody could do, or maybe something he can do by himself. I got to see my options. And then Levi, his brother, who's I think 4 or 5, he's really into like cars and stuff like that. Not so much like a tinkerer, but like, you know, really into that stuff. So I wanted to get him an RC car or truck or something, but he's still, I don't think he'd be able to control it that well. So I want to get him something that's a little too much for him, and then mod it somehow, find, you know, the motor or whatever, and put like a potentiometer in there so I could slow the thing way down and let him drive it like that. And then, you know, crack it open a little bit here and there. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's good thinking. That's real good thinking, Billy. Yeah, well, looks like there's no breeze here today, and it's still cold, but I was out throwing some moldy bread out for the critters, and it's a nice day. It's also some day, Billy. Got a video for you here. I think you'll like it. Yeah, you came up since I gave you the report. You're up to almost where you were with the airplane enhancement, but it's steady and no hint of backscatter whatsoever. I don't hear any of it. You still hear that on my signal?
Nope, it went away. You're nice and clean. Pretty much consistent this whole time, your signal in here. So I'm getting near that +5, huh?
Yeah, you are. It's a industrial quality here.
That's good stuff. Yay, 555. +555, yeah. W2BTK. 10 meter yam.
Yeah, W2BTK from W2 very weak. And the Yankee Charlie 156 net.
That's right. It's a MRI day. Yesterday was Friday, but this morning is MRI day.
That's right. You better chain all your loose iron, ferrous metals, and whatever else you got, knives and forks and spoons down.
And I guess oxygen tanks, right?
You got a loose oxygen tank? It could be a projectile. Let's see here. Hello. Today, I think I'm going to at least spend a little bit of time to get some of my fail-safe stuff in line here, like overdrive. I definitely need that. My reflect is down, Billy. It's 7.5 watts, Billy.
That's really good. And I know what you're up against, and that must be a great feeling, man. You won, Dave. You're winning. That's good stuff. I keep having to check my reflect setup because the needle doesn't move. It doesn't even move a little bit, even when I modulate. But, you know, I walk over and I turn the slug around. It goes beep. I'm like, okay, it works. I just have no reflect. It's kind of weird because the impedance is a little high. There's a little tiny bit of reactance, or so says the MFJ 259B. Fine piece of instrumentation there. So I don't know. It's happy, very, very happy. But I'm just running a symmetrically doubled unfed. I don't have anything near what you got going on over there, dude.
Yeah, the only thing near this are some buzzards, man. They showed up yesterday. We had, I think, 14 of them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that must be a Pennsylvania thing, because my parents are always saying there's tons of buzzards over by them, too.
Yeah, I've never seen them like that. We'd never noticed them like that until yesterday morning. But there was a dead deer out on the road, and it disappeared. And I'm wondering if the other deer that kind of hangs out, not too far from the buzzards, also got hurt, or if the one that I saw wasn't really dead, he was just laying there for a while. I don't know, because it disappeared. I don't know what happened. I had to run out to the airport and saw the deer. By the time I got back, no deer. So I don't know the full story. I haven't seen anybody up there at all. So there you go. Yeah, reflect just keeps getting better and better. I don't know why. Maybe the cable is degrading.
Maybe, yeah. I get paranoid too when the reflect is real low. Everything's working real well. Like, well, something has to be broken. But yeah, this thing just stays set. I have it set for 32 watts. If it sees more than 32 watts, it shuts everything off.
Yeah, that's good. I was just over there with the Fluke, shooting the exhaust plenum and the cable. Got a 3-degree temperature rise on this cable compared to another piece of cable that's not hooked up to anything. That's the same stuff, but that's probably the exhaust. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. I'll have to go outside and shoot it. That'll be the real. I used to warm up the LMR 600, believe it or not, with my Collins 30S1. After being on the air for a long time, like a 10-minute transmission, you could detect a little bit of heat.
After 10 minutes? Well, that's 600 too. Wow. I mean, that's good stuff. The only thing I think, I'm sure if I keyed up for 10 minutes that I could heat up this LMR 400 that I have. It doesn't need to be as long as it is. It goes out of blue, under the floor, back up the floor into the tuner, and it's probably like 25 feet or something like that, maybe 30 feet. But it could be much shorter, and then I don't know if it would heat up as much, but I definitely get a little bit of heating on my 1-to-1 choke that my my balanced to unbalanced transformer, I guess you call it, 1-to-1 choke, I don't know. Whatever that thing is that, like, people have wars and debates and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, it's called a balloon.
Yeah. People online that you never hear on the air. I moved down to your frequency so you don't have to run and move it. I'm on 982.79. And I'm sure that you're still settling in there since you just got on. This is what happens when you only have one crystal. I was hearing John, G4ITR on 29080 with my sub receiver. I wasn't listening very intently, but I could tell it was him and he was there and he had a good signal. So the band is still open over to his neighborhood anyway. W2BTK from W2 very weak. Yeah, that extra length of cable, it could make a difference. Or could screw everything up, Billy. You know, if I were you, you know what I would do, right?
Yeah, don't touch anything and just enjoy it. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. And thank you for sliding down here to accommodate my Johnson Model 122 VFO. That's the good stuff, you know. I'll drive the crap out of this thing. I had to turn the grid drive down, you know. Thing's a real flamethrower.
Yeah, buddy. Well, I was all excited to hook up my my modified Valiant, which is modified for exciter use here, but now I don't know if I'm going to bother.
Yeah, if you're getting the type of modulation that you are, why bother? I mean, unless you want to, but that thing is working, man. W2BTK, I can't remember last time I announced that, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, there ought to be some contester types lurking. If they're in the 10 meters, I'm sure they're stalking today because they'll be on here tomorrow. And you never know who you're going to bump into here. There are some well-equipped stations out there when it's near contest time. I know a lot of AM guys bitch about contesters. I like contesters. I don't like stupid contesters, but smart contesters are fine with me.
Yeah, because, you know, they need skills or else they're not going to do well. So a lot of them have skills, I guess. It's probably why you like them. And generally, if you have good skills, you can't be that stupid. But I have seen that combination before, stupid and skills. It's really weird, though. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully some people pop out some Yaemers. That would be fun, because if they're on any other mode, I can't really do it. That's funny, like, lurking around. I was just flipping through frequencies, like, you know, with the receiver and crap, and I landed, what was this, last weekend or some point? I landed on 5130, and it was Timmy, and he was doing some kind of radio show. It was pretty entertaining, playing like rock music, and there was tons of QSB, so like those guitars, like, it was all like, it just was making my head start to spin. I was like, oh man, this is cool.
Yeah, that's great stuff. W2 very weak here. That is great stuff. When WBCQ first went on the air, I think it was 1998. Yes, it was 1998, and it was right before the Gaithersburg Hamfest. And a bunch of us got together and set up a pretty good station there. And had some R390As I was selling. I had them on the bench, and I had them powered up. So if you wanted to operate it. Who does that at a ham fest with an R390A? Anyway, there was some guru R390A guy who was considered a guru at the time, like calling people over, like, you don't want to buy that. That needs this, it needs that, it's like this, it's got this, and blah, blah, blah. He was like talking people out of buying my R390As, which I thought was pretty stupid. But anyway, guess what? Didn't sell one at the fest. I sold 3 of them within a month because the people contacted me at home. I saw your receiver. Some guy told me not to buy it. I'd like to come over and buy it. Never saw anything like it. But the point is, you were able to tune those around while we were transmitting with a cherry red 833 being plate modulated, like less than 50 feet away transmitting. You couldn't even tell a hint. Had wire on the ground for an antenna. And we were listening to WBCQ on 7415, which is where it was back then. And Timmy's show was on. And that was really cool. And then when we did the W2A special event station at Edwin Armstrong site in Alpine, we actually called in to Timmy's radio show and got on the air from there and on the air from there at the same time.
That is pretty cool. Listen to yourself on the receiver. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Say, and whoever that dude was, you should have just dropped one on his head or something. I don't know. That's silly. And the people obviously were like, I don't know if I trust this dude telling me, but they're too self-conscious to like walk over and buy it. They don't want to hear it from this guy or whatever. That's, man, yeah, well, that's ham fest. And under any other circumstance, that guy would just be in his basement or at home doing something, probably not even on the air. Oh my gosh. Ham radio, yep. Ham radio. It's fun. It's weird. We're here for it.
That'd make a good hat. Well, I didn't know about it at the time. Like 2 of the people that came over my house told me. I was like, I had no idea.
Oh, so he's being all covert about it. I figured the guy was like walking up to the table, like, you know, that's a, if you knew about it, you could have dropped one of them on his head.
Yes, at that time I could have very easily dropped one on his head. I could have thrown it at him from 10 feet away.
The ape man.
That's right, I was the ape man back then.
I'm starting to maybe slow down a little bit. I was telling you about this. I think when the light sucks, I can't see anything. It's hard to get used to.
Yeah, well, everything you gotta do in moderation. You have to be careful not to stretch too far in a certain direction. And well, you don't need me to tell you. You know plenty of other people who are older.
Yeah. And it's, once you get, like my parents' age, I guess it's like, you know, use it or lose it. My dad's knee, he did something to it, but it was just like months and months and months of this knee, you know, until he finally, like, he just kept at it, kept walking, kept going to the gym, this and that. Finally, it started getting better, but that was like, it took a long time, and it was just a simple, like, twist or this or that. It just did something funky to his knee, but it lingered.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, I'm glad he was able to work through it. That's always the big question, is should you work through it or go have somebody look at it and tell you that you need to stay off it? That's the big paradox with your knee. I used to have to do knee exercises going back from when I was a kid. I had a problem with the muscle in there. It was restricting my movement. It was weird. The doctor said it attached to something. I don't know, that it shouldn't. which never made sense to me, but I don't know. I'm not smart in that. But I had the same thing happen to me 2 years ago. I was cutting wood on the hill and throwing these 200-pound oak logs around into my gorilla cart. And same deal, man, my right knee. And it hasn't been completely right since, but before I even get out of bed, do some leg elevations, it puts it right for the day. So I get that. Guys on ham radio talking about health. Who wants to do that? Anybody who's concerned about their health. I can't imagine why people complain about that. It's the most important thing you have, just about. So you want to talk to other people about your health. Big deal.
Yeah, figure it out. Get some, if you don't talk to anybody about it, you don't think about it that much, it just gets worse. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me. This Johnson Viking and this Model 122 VFO are in very good health, and I can tell because look where I am now. It's working perfectly. But crap, what was I gonna say? I forgot. That happens to me a lot now. Oh, dang it. All I have to do is unkey and then I'll remember.
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna send an email out here. ON 28 9 81. So you only move 4 kilohertz. Face, nerd smiley face. There we go. Off it goes. Alrighty there, Billy. W2BTK from W2 Very Weak.
W2 Very Weak. W2BTK. That's what I was gonna say. My index finger, the last joint right there, right by the nail. First year apprentice. I'm up climbing on top of a freezer. We're trying to get this like 3/0 ground wire up to some steel to bond. And he's in the switchgear room there, and I'm trying to push it through and just like trying to get his attention because like he he's spaced out. He's just in there by himself, so he's spaced out. I'm like banging on the wall like, yo, I'm like, pull, and like he pulls a little bit and it's not coming, and we stop for a second. I'm like, pull, and just say it like real loud because I don't think he can hear me. He rips that thing, dude. It just bent my whole index finger the wrong way, pinned it up against the wall, and he stayed like pulling as hard as he could. So I'm pinched in there. He can't hear me. I just have to wait until he gives up, get my finger out of there. And man, I couldn't like push on my index finger anyway for like a couple weeks there. It just hurt. When I'm finally working through it and it's almost back to normal, like I can push on it sideways, up and down, and it doesn't like hurt. It feels a little weird in one direction, but it's almost back to good. I've just been moving it and working it, but man, like if that was permanent damage, I would have to think about that stupid kid every day. My finger hurts. That would ruin me. So I'm glad that my index finger on my right hand is back to normal.
Yeah, you ever try capsaicin or hot peppers? Man, that works really good for joint arthritis and injuries. Mitigating the pain. Works for me anyway. Some people can't tolerate capsaicin though.
Like topically or ingesting it?
No, you got to eat it.
Oh yeah. No, I eat all kinds of like. Every day, I pretty much eat habanero hot sauce. This stuff is really good. It's Melinda's garlic habanero, some kind of hot sauce. The tagline is like, set your mouth on flavor. So I do eat a lot of hot stuff, capsaicin, probably stuff that if you're not used to eating anything hot, it would be too much. You wouldn't even enjoy it. But I really, really like all that hot stuff. And, you know, it's all made out of hot peppers and this and that. So, yeah, every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Works for me. Ada made some pizza, some homemade pizza, and put a lot of our peppers that we grew, which we have a legacy of peppers. We've been growing them forever. We saved the seeds every year, and then we threw some other ones in with them. Those are the ones I saved because they'll grow back. I didn't know that, but I saved the plants. And they look really good. So maybe I'll do a grow light or two. The only thing you got to watch with that commercial hot sauce is MSG. They tend to put a lot of that in there to make you crave it, you know. W2BTK. This is W2VW. W2 very weak.
W2VW, W2BTK. Yeah, there's a lot of mixed stuff about MSG. Some people say that it's like nowhere near as bad as everyone says it is. You know, and obviously there's a lot of MSGs like the devil. I don't know. I've heard both sides of the spectrum, but that's a good thing to check. I'm actually going to look at that.
Got to go cycle my fluke meter. Yes, but you get that about anything, like shooting your own foot. You can go online now, and if you go to certain websites, it'll tell you it's shooting your own foot really is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Now with the internet and how fast information can get from one place to the other, yeah, you can't really. Don't trust, verify, right? Didn't used to be like that. It's like that now. Take it from me, W2BTK. Don't trust, verify. Anyone listening to this. Anyway, this stuff is low ingredient, man. It's product of Mexico, imported and distributed by Melinda's Foods. Roasted pepper mix. So roasted habanero pepper, roasted sweet pepper, white vinegar, water, roasted garlic, lime juice, passion fruit pulp, salt, xanthan gum, citric acid, ascorbic acid. That's it.
What were the last three?
Xanthan gum, citric acid, and ascorbic acid.
You mean ascorbic? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't hear anything that. So it's probably really good stuff, Billy.
It is really good stuff. And yeah, sorry, I read that wrong. See my 40-year-old eyes. Just ascorbic acid.
Yeah, buddy. I'm turning into. I was raised with, you know, grammar Nazi, and I haven't gotten over it.
Well, yeah, that's trauma, but maybe not the worst.
Yeah, I find myself doing it to other people, and I'm like, stop, you idiot, stop. What's wrong with you? You know better. You know what it's like to be on the other end of that. You see something here. Hello. Yeah, hello. Oh, man, we're getting 555. The positive peaks are working, Billy.
Yeah, you're sounding great, man. It's way in there with signal, and it's very robust. It's good AM.
Yeah, see, if I wanted to get this kind of really good audio quality out of that the Valiant or even the 500, I think I'd have to put a feedback loop around the Antec toroid mod transformer in the case of the 500, and the Valiant has got a Hammond. It's designed for push-pull parallel 6L6s, I think it's rated at 280 watts of audio. It's a nice audio transformer wound the right way. But either way, I think I'd have to have inverse feedback. And I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah. But you got enough audio power to do it. The only person I really heard saying, like, you should do that is Clark. He thought that would be cool with my Heising reactor or whatever you want to call it. There's all arguments about that too. I don't know, but yeah, then I considered it, but like, why? I don't know. I think this is good. I definitely have enough modulator to do something like that, but I don't think it's really that necessary. It's just something like to do, you know? It's like, yeah, well, that's the next step. You could do that. And then, you know, it's just one more sentence to say when you're describing what you're running to somebody. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm sure there's reasons to do that, but my 10-meter AM amateur radio setup, I'm gonna let it fly. W2BTK.
Yeah, ship it. W2, very weak. And it's not don't trust but verify, it's trust but verify, as coined by Ronald Reagan. And when you think about it, that actually means not what it says, except for the last part.
Yeah, exactly. If you have to verify, then, well, are you really trusting in the first place?
Yeah, well, he had some really good wordsmiths at his disposal. He had some pretty good speech writers.
Yep. Framing, word framing. You can lead the mind around like a sheep. You know? Say one thing, but have it leave the impression of another.
Yes, there are people doing this now, right now, if you turn on the media.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's if you turn on the media, which is something I really don't do around here. Honestly, I don't spend... I mean, maybe late at night, I'll find myself doom scrolling some Instagram or some brain rot thing like that. But during the day, I try not to have my phone out. Even when we're eating break and lunch and stuff at work, it's just like phone come out, head buried for like a half an hour. But I try to sit there and not do it, even if I'm bored. I think being bored is a good thing. You need to be bored sometimes, you know? And then I find myself looking around and I look at everything and like there's something catches my interest and then I start thinking about it, you know? And the time goes, but I'm looking and thinking and kind of there, you know? You get your face buried in the phone for more than 5 or 10 minutes. Like once you look up, it's just kind of like recalibrating.
Yeah, it causes mind rot.
It's like a real coined phrase now, brain rot.
Yes, I heard a heterodyne. This is W2 very weak on 28981 now. Because I can. I don't know, I hear people tuning up, but that's all I heard. Yeah. Did you try to fire up on 2900 and had no audio? Was that you? There was somebody in there that came on in stages, but they never had any audio.
No, that wasn't me, but I heard you. I saw that carrier as I was walking away to start firing up my stuff.
Yeah, don't know who that was, but I don't know. Maybe they don't like me. This is my dog, Buzzsaw. He instinctively knows when somebody don't like me, Fred, and then he chases them.
Wonder what that is.
I can't do Barney Rubble. That was Mel Blanc. Nope, not this guy. First, you need a 7300 if you want to sound like that.
You know what's funny? That it kind of stuck with, like, I'm screwed up now by it. Everyone at that power plant, just because I guess it's so, like, it could be really depressing around there, you know? So everyone working, and they're mostly welders and stuff, they all talk with the squeaky, high-pitched voice. I don't know why. You know, the foreman, he was like, "Hey, Billy, we gotta do," and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, no, that's like, it just, trust me, that's how we all talk over here. We're idiots, you know." And then I hear, like, the welders are like, "Oh, crap, we gotta bond this thing." You know, and then I started doing it. We're pulling the wire. Like, I remember I told you we were breaking rope after rope trying to get this crap to come out of the pipe. We're like, "Oh, geez, I gotta set this tugger. Oh, I think it's gonna break. Watch out. Oh, no." You know, and then, like, snap, bang, like, "Oh, man." Then we finally got the crap out of there. I'm like, "Yay, we did it." And, like, you hear from the other side of the plant, like, there's other people, like, above you and all around. You can't even see them, but it's all graded, like, floor. So you hear someone off in the distance, like, "Yay, they did it." You know, it's just like, it's weird, man. But it's actually really fun.
Do they have a logo for their local, like maybe a picture of Mr. Bill?
No Mr. Bill, but oh no. But I do have on the front of my toolbox, it's Bob the Builder, and it looks just like him, and it has the slogan. It's like, "Can we fix it?" But under it says, "No, it's."
It says what?
It says, "No, it's."
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't get the first letter that time. Yes, okay.
Yeah. W2BTK.
W2 very weak. It just needs a software update.
Yeah. Well, now I'm actually working on stuff that's true. Like, they have these little program boards. I don't know. It's programmable logic incorporated something. It's all the HVAC stuff. You got, like, the data bus, and then the thermostat comes. I don't know. It does all this. It's a bunch of contacts and stuff, and I hooked it up right. That's all you need to know. But that, where was I going with this? Oh my God, I forgot what was I going to say?
We're talking about logos of people that screw up and needing a software update. And then you started talking about PLCs that you don't know how they work, but yours works because you hooked it up right.
Oh, yeah. So I asked the guy, I was like, "Good, that's all good to go." And he's like, "Yeah, we tested it. You did perfect." You know, I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I was like, "So it's just going to run now?" And he's like, No. That thing will never run until somebody gives it a program. I was like, wow. So, yeah, there you go. That thing is all hooked up, ready. It's got power, this and that, but it won't do crap till it gets a software update.
And Ben's starting to open up. Your backscatter is starting to get into your signal. And I heard somebody try to break in. Who was that? Can you try again a couple times? W2VW here. Nope. Guess not. They were just tuning up. Maybe they're still tuning up.
I don't know. But that stuff doesn't work without a software update.
Every time I had to deal with a software update, like the last, what was it about? I'm trying to think how many years it was. It was about the last 6 years at work. The guy who was the director of technology, came from the computer geek world, like they all do now. And man, the transmitter company would say, we have a software update we'd like you to implement. And this guy would be like, you give us a list of other facilities in other cities and other markets that have done the update already, because we're not doing it until we get that list and find out if there's any possible problems with it.
Man, that sounds like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, when he was okay, he was pretty okay, but he had his moments, let's just put it that way. He wanted me to always bust on the contractor that we were using, give them a hard time, which was easy to do because they were forever screwing stuff up, so that was the automatically easy thing to do. But they bought him a Porsche.
Wow. Yeah, well, he's, I guess, getting, putting his foot down about the right kind of stuff. Doing that real easy management style where you only worry about certain things that are easy to worry about and drive a Porsche. When do we get there?
Yep. Okay, who's that trying to break in? Go ahead again, please. Who are the sons? W2VW. Who's this? Say something. I know it's somebody with a boat anchor because they moved. I think you're stable now. Well, relatively stable anyway. Anyway, yes, the band's opening up because your backscatter is really ripping into your signal. Are you hearing any of that effect from me, Billy?
Yeah, your signal's down and you got a little bit of that backscatter echo going on at times, so things are shifting.
Yeah, well, you're down to being just out of the noise here right now. That's how much the backscatter is getting into your main signal. So it's quite the effect, but I don't hear the echoey stuff.
Yeah, you've got echo here.
Did you say you were hearing that? You're hearing the echo?
QSL, QSL, QSL.
Roger. Oh, don't say QSL. It makes me want to sell my radio stuff.
Okay, well, FBOM, triple plus fine business OM.
I mean, to me, QSL, people would say QSL. You know, you could just say Roger or OK or something. QSL. That, to me, that means sell your radio. I need to sell it because it's inane.
Yeah, well, I should have said Roger. But, you know, I reverted to Q codes because, I don't know. I guess I really don't know, Dave. How copy?
You're coming back up. Yeah, well, you heard me. I said kilowatt the other day instead of saying kilo. And then I caught myself. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I heard that. You know what I was doing? After listening to the recordings a little bit, I noticed that I settled back into saying, you know, I did that a lot on one of those recordings, and I was pretty good about not doing that for a while, but, you know, now I just sit in silence instead of, because I got a sweet carrier. Look at that. I don't have to be like always modulating this thing there, Roger.
Yeah, well, W2BTK from W2VW. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. You find yourself going, a lot. And that happens to me, too. The worst problem you can have is when you're conversing with somebody who's doing that. And then once you start going, it's all over. But is a ham radio word for SSB, because that's what you have to do that to, so you can ride the watt meter. You have to go, So the weather here today is, why you sit there and look at your watt meter? Because it's SSB.
Yeah. Stare at the watt meter. You could do the same equivalent on AM if you stare at the oscilloscope and you're obsessed with, you know, lots of peaks and stuff, because I can speak a certain way into this microphone that definitely modulates this thing harder, but I don't look over at the scope unless I really need to, maybe just for a quick reference or something, but everything works better if you don't look at your instrumentation, your like watt meter, scope, this and that. Once you're like well into a QSO, once you're well into a conversation, you know, things are going, you just stop looking at it. Works very well for me.
Yeah, the QC gear got to be used sparingly. There's a lot of guys that rely on it, and they sit there and dig on their voice on the D-mod. A lot of people go through that phase. And then they're like, they talk like this, you know, everything is enunciated, and they accentuate the S's. And there's a guy on 160 that I hear, he's an AM, and I hear him, and he always sounds like he's eating something while he's on the air.
You know, that's a phenomenon too, and that might be how he's got his compression set up, because there are ways to run compression where just like the little nuances of the movement of your mouth, like they get slammed, and it's like just really there, like speaking like and get pushed to the same level. You know, I've seen that. I've had stuff dialed in like that before, which is really good if you got like a female singer doing like a really soft passage or something. Yeah, you want all that nuance in there. But if it's like your old timer ham radio buddy, like probably farting when they're not keyed up, you know, the mouth nuance, it's not, I mean, I guess if you want to include that information into the audio, you can, but I don't know. Necessary? No.
Yeah, W2 very weak. I only know one guy who used to do that on purpose and probably still does it. And you know what you were saying about sorry about that. You were saying about the iron workers all talking in a squeaky voice. Well, that squeaky voice, obviously, if you're trying to make yourself heard over long distances and machinery and stuff, that might be effective, and that's what works. The best one I like is Mike Tyson. You know, if you listen to Mike Tyson, when he first was very well known, which was instant, he sounded exactly like Kevin Rooney, who was his trainer at the time. I mean, it's like he taught him how to talk, everything.
Good afternoon, both.
Good afternoon. Who is that?
Good afternoon. Golf 4 Italy Tango Radio. Keith across the line.
Golf 4 Italy Tango Radio from W2BTK. Good morning. Good. It's morning here. So good morning. I have Dave W2VW out there as well.
Yeah, is that Pete? Yeah, I think it's Pete, Golf 4 India Tango Radio. Good afternoon. It's 4 in the afternoon here, local time. Just heard you both chatting away, and Cool Resist giving you a call. You're both from our wire antenna at this end as well. Round to you, Dave, from Golf 4 India Tango Radio.
All right, G4ITR and W2BTK from W2VW. Yeah, well, thanks, Keith. We appreciate the report. The band is not great, but you're here. The wire antenna's working. You're about guess 8. You're usually way stronger. The band is not as good as it was an hour ago. I was checking out G4ITR up the band on my sub receiver. He was coming in really well, but you're making it. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, hey there, Keith. You're coming in really well here. I'm running a dipole as well. It's we've talked before. It's about 140 foot overall dipole, so the lobes are kind of crazy, but when they're working, they're working. So very good signal here. I didn't have my eye on the S meter, but very good. Into Phillipsburg, New Jersey.
Yes, good afternoon again, Billy. You're both good signals. You're picking 5 and 9 on peaks, but you are dropping down in the QSB at times, but not missing any words. Here, as I say, it's 3:45 in the afternoon, and getting a bit late on, probably missed the peak of the propagation. Just on a ZS 6BKW. The band didn't seem to be in particularly good shape, so left it down. It's another breezy day here. So great to hear you both on. I've no idea what conditions are like. You're the first first contact of the day, but it sounds like there is plenty of propagation across the pond. You'll be hearing YPZ as well up the band, so that's great. Usual setup: flex radio, 100 watts carrier, and to the wire. So that's the story. But I won't tell you guys, let you carry on, but just heard you chatting away, Cool Resist breaking in. W2VW, G4ITR.
G4ITR, W2BTK from W2VW. Okay. Wonderful, Keith. Really nice of you to break in here and give us a report. You're on the live stream of Billy's. He'll tell you where to find it if you don't remember. I find searching for it is very difficult. I don't know why. They're burying Billy in their search algorithm, the YouTube folks. But anyway, you'll be able to get a good, real honest audio report because he's not pushing, pulling, or twisting the audio any more than the minimum amount of what YouTube does to it. So you can hear how you sound. You sound excellent. You got up to 10/9 there and then faded up and down and up and down. So band's not stable, but anyway, and yeah, the wire antenna's working great. And what you're listening to right here now this is my A station. This is my someday amplifier, someday antenna. So this is it, and the band isn't that great. We've been working on getting this thing working, and it's nice and warm in this room. 2BTK in the group, and W2 very weak.
Yeah, W2VW, G4ITR. From W2BTK. Yeah, Keith, you're doing excellent for 100 watts with the flex. And yeah, you'll be able to see, I have my receiver online right now, streaming live, the pan adapter and the waterfall. And you can find it on, the easiest way probably is you go to youtube.com/amateur radio. youtube.com/amateur radio, and that should pull it right up. If you can't find it that way, you can search YouTube for 631 November Juliet, 631 NJ, and that should pull up my page, and you can see 29000 kilohertz amateur radio, and you should be able to find it through that. Very good signal here. Had a little QSB before, but really holding in there. Very impressive for a dipole with 100 watts. I'm running about 350 watts here with my dipole, and yeah, the band isn't that good, but we're all doing very well. good path. From W2BTK. Go ahead, Keith.
W2BTK with W2VW G4ITR. Okay there, Billy. Well, thanks for the info. I've just pulled up the YouTube channel. I'm just looking at my modulation on your on your receiver, and yeah, excellent. I'll have a listen back shortly. Hate to create a bit of howl round, but yeah, it looks like we're making it into. From what I can see, so excellent. Very good. Yeah, well, it's weather-wise here. It's a cold day. It's not too sure what the temperature is, but a strong breeze blowing, and it's although it's only 10 to 4 in the afternoon, it's starting to get dark outside, so it's not too good. But there we go. But nice signals, and so I've not even tuned up the band yet to see who else is around. But I know you're both. Anyhow, I'm not going to hold it with you. You're sounding great on the A station there, Dave, by the way, and no, absolutely no problems. Sounding great, and the big signal as well. So not much more you could ask for there. So I'll leave you guys to carry on, and I'll spin the dial and then just see what else is on the go before I head down the stairs. And a bit of sport on the TV this afternoon. There's a bit of a rugby match on the go. Not that you guys probably followed the rugby across there, but England, New Zealand, so probably going to get trounced by New Zealand, but we'll have a quick look at that one as well. So 73s both, and I'll listen once round, and then leave you to it. W2VW and the group G4ITR.
G4ITR, W2BTK from W2VW. Okay, great, Keith. 100% no problem. Thanks for the report. Thanks for breaking in and joining the rugby match. Yeah, that's got to be competitive against New Zealand, sure. Must be fun. And okay on the weather. Well, today here is very, very low wind, and it's kind of cool, but you may land up hanging around out on the back deck. Got some heat lamps I can flip on and enjoy the outdoors for one of the last times this year, unless we get some unseasonably warm weather. See how that goes. Maybe have a picnic or something. Thanks again. Nice to hear you. Go ahead, Billy. W2 very weak.
W2 very weak. G4ITR from W2BTK. Yeah, all right, Keith. Thanks for popping in here. Glad to have you on the recording there. It's a lot more fun to listen to these back when you get some traffic through here, especially DX. So not too many other bands you can really do this on. Just have a nice conversation comfortably and sustained. So that's excellent, man. And enjoy the rugby match. That rugby, that's a sport. That's a rough sport. I played hockey. That's pretty rough, but I really think rugby is like, man, that's might be one of the roughest sports you can do. Well, that's got to be very fun to watch. And we don't have too much of it over here, but that's good stuff. So enjoy it. And same here. It was very cold this morning, and the temperature's been coming up and up. It's probably almost in the 40s, almost 40 something here now. So it's pretty nice. All the leaves have pretty much fallen. There's a couple lingering trees here with some yellow leaves, but they're any day now. So beautiful fall weather over here in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. So we will catch you later, Keith. Enjoy. And 7-3 from W2BTK. Oh, back to you, Dave.
73s both, all best. G4ITR.
Talk to you soon, Keith. Thanks again. Hope you knock them dead up higher there. All right. Well. Oh, let's see. Bowling with Santa invite. I may not be on the air that day. Okay. Well. Wonderful, Billy. Yeah. What's the path looking like now up there?
You got a little less signal, and it's a little bit of up and down, but still very, I'm not missing anything you're saying. It seems like it's normalized a little bit. You don't have the echo or anything at this time, but it doesn't seem that great. But you're really holding in there, which is very good.
Okay, hang on. QRZ, who's calling? Yeah, just not enough signal, OM. You want to try to call a couple times. I think I got Ocean. I think that's all I got. Can you try it a few times, please? Yeah, thanks for trying. I know you're a good operator because you figured out what frequency we were on and you zero beat it. So I'm sure you're a seasoned operator. There's just not enough signal. You may be coming in here via backscatter, which is pretty destructive at the moment. So thanks for trying. If the path improves, try it again. Did you get any of that there, Billy? W2BTK from W2VW.
No, I didn't even see a streak on the waterfall, but I did see another carrier right on 28,980 during some of that stuff. So there might be somebody tuning up.
Yeah, give him a shot.
Well, anyone out there? I saw some carrier around 28,980. This is W2BTK Whiskey 2 Bravo Tango Kilo. Listening.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I see nothing either.
I see nothing.
A big signal on 29,000, and then I saw some stuff on 29,01 on the pan adapter there.
Yeah, somebody else came back. Who was that? Yeah, G4ITR in the north of Yorkshire. This is W2VW, W2 very weak in London Grove, Pennsylvania. You're 5 and 9 plus at the moment. Very good signal, no bother at all. We're just here off of the main AM path here to give other people a place to call CQ and all that, but absolutely no problem working DX. And you're on a live stream and also recording that'll be up on YouTube, so you'll be able to see and hear yourself, I think, later on the internet, if you like. Billy, what did you get there? I won't give your call sign because that would wreck a real honest contact with the other gentleman. Name here is Dave, by the way, Delta Alpha Victor Echo. Billy, over to you.
Yeah, Dave, I'm not able to pull out any modulation, but I do see a streak on the waterfall there.
All right, so you're not, okay. You're not making it into Billy. Well, the band can be spotty when it's not really open real well like it isn't right now. Okay, G4ITR, the other guy's not hearing you, but anyway, go ahead from W2VW. Okay. What's the name there? I missed that. If you said it, go ahead. Okay, that's Geraldo, or you go with Geraldo, or how's that work over? Roger. Okay. Gerald. I don't know, something happened to my receiver and it made you into Geraldo, but okay, very good, Gerald. Well, you're doing fine with the old FT101 here and the Doublet. That's all I used on this part of the band for several years' length. Was a 260-foot center-fed Doublet. That's all I had for a long time. And it worked fine. There's lots of AM up here if you get on at the right time. The band isn't that great today, so you'll have even more fun next time you try it. But over 5 and 9 here with good audio. And that good old Yaesu there from the 1970s. London Grove, Pennsylvania is about an hour's drive from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. G4ITR from W2VW. Okay, Gerald, and hang on, Billy. I'll get back with you in a minute. Are you? I guess you are aware of the activity on 80 meters on 3615, Gerald? Yeah, they're very dedicated. I've run into a number of people that are active there, but obviously I work them here. And great bunch of people, Gerald. G4ITR from W2VW. Right. Okay, Gerald. Well, it was really nice to make your acquaintance here, and a little bit higher, obviously, than this frequency is very active when the band is open. You'll have a hard time getting the better quality than that FT101. It works well. It's fully modulated. The tone is pretty good. So that's a good way to get on the air. You get your GRC and GRC9 on. That'd be kind of fun on this band. I didn't even know they worked up here. But anyway, 7-3 from Pennsylvania. We'll talk with you again. And keep up the good work there. Over to you, Billy, to get any of that. W2BTK in the group from W2VW.
Yeah, W2VW, W2BTK. No, I couldn't really make out much of the modulation there, but I saw good amount of carrier on the pan adapter and waterfall there. At times I can hear a little bit of voice coming through, but not enough to make a contact here, I don't think. Oh, that's you're hearing him way better than I am here on my dipole, but that's okay. I got a little bit of signal on the recording here, but not so much. You'll probably find it interesting. I was messing around with the AGC, bandwidth, all this and that. I try to pull them in, and there was a couple seconds there where I lifted the threshold of the AGC well above where you are, so you can hear a little bit of your fading up and down. I'm kind of cushioning that with where I have it set, but it'll all be very interesting to listen back to. W2VW from W2BTK.
Somebody called in right after you stopped. Did you hear anything, Bill?
I see a carrier.
Give it a call there, Billy. See if anybody can hear you and wants to call in.
Is anyone out there trying to reach W2BTK here, 28980-ish on my Johnson Viking 2? Anyone out there? I saw a carrier here, but couldn't quite pull the call sign out of the noise. Dave, did you hear anything?
Yeah, hang on, Billy. M0YKS. I think Billy's got a problem. He's listening in 4 directions at one time, and it's destroying some of the signals. M0YKS. This is W2VW. W2 very weak. Go ahead.
Not very weak at my end. Beautiful copy. And the 5 and 9 plus 10 maybe a little bit stronger. And I'm hearing Billy about 553. We'll go CSC. A great strategy guys on AM. Good, but you're extremely solid copy. W2VW, congratulations, awesome signal. From Yorkshire, England, this is M0.
Yorkshire. Nobody calls in with a short... It's hard to write that. Yorkshire. Shire. I-R-E. Sure. Yorkshire. Okay, Simon. Great. The shack here is completely disaster from working on some of this equipment. There's literally throwing pieces together. So I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, but I haven't cleaned the shack, so I've got like a notepad on my knee, and it's not easy to write Yorkshire at the end of the paper, if you can imagine that madness that is here at W2VW. Your name is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo. Glad you were listening in. I'm glad you called in. You're up to 5 over 9, 5 and 9 signal. The audio's a little muffled. There's no S's or T's, but you've got so much signal here that I hear you fine, and thank you for the report. Running a 7-element monobander and a homebrew final amplifier. M0YKS from W2VW.
exact location is Bradford, just a few miles north. Small pushback MA5B. And yeah, AM's in great shape. I've heard quite a few signals, but yours is definitely one of the strongest. So whatever you've got running there is doing a fine job. And incidentally, it's not been... Like I said, getting good copy on both of you. And fantastic to hear you get around. I want to speak with the audio setting. This is M0YKS.
Okay, Simon, excellent. Hearing you 100%, it's just it cuts off. It's just no S&T sounds. I think the 101 MP can do a little bit better. So, yeah, something to think about it. As I'm sure you know, it's totally different tone settings for SSB and AM. I'm actually running an old Yaesu here, too, for an exciter, a FT1000D, as in D stands for very heavy. For whatever word describes really heavy. And it's very, 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 very modified radio as an exciter. And running Yankee Charlie 156 Eimac in the final at 6,000 volts. So there you go. Hang on a second. Billy, are you getting any of this?
Yes, I'm able to copy Simon fairly well. Again, not much S&T in there, a little muffle sounding, but I do hear you, Simon. This is Whiskey 2, Bravo Tango Kilo. How copy?
Yeah, Whiskey 2, Kilo. Got you in there about 5 and 5. Perfect copy, good audio, nice and clear, and nice to make the contact with you, Billy. This is M0YKS, over.
Yeah, very good. I think you might be hearing me a little better, but I've got you in there. I've got your audio, and you'll be able to hear it. I'm running a live stream of my receiver right now on YouTube, and you can find that at youtube.com/@ like the @ sign, youtube.com/amateur radio. If you go there, you should be able to see the live stream, see exactly how I'm receiving you. M0YKS from Whiskey 2 Bravo Tango Kilo.
Yeah, okay, Simon, great. Yeah, you'll be able to get a good read of your audio on Billy's YouTube there. Obviously not live. He's live, but you'll listen to it afterward. And I understand you have your own also. So great, thanks for checking in. No problem at all. Always welcome. Dog X-ray here checking in, especially where my antenna is aimed. Makes it easy, which is where I'm aimed. So there you go. M0YKS 73 to you, and over to you, Billy. W2BTK in the group from W2VW, and good DX to you, Simon. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, 7-3, Simon. Thanks for chiming in. Always a lot of fun to work that DX AM stations. You had some very slow QSB on your last transmission where it took you out for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, so I missed some of that, but you'll be able to see on my YouTube, and I'd be very interested to check out your live stream as well. So 7-3, and thank you for the contact, Simon. W2BTK.
Thank you. Give another call out, Billy. See who else is hearing you.
This is Whiskey 2 Bravo Tango Kilo W2BTK QRZ.
Nothing heard here.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything either. Put my AGC and all this stuff back to where it was.
Yeah, I think the band will fix itself tomorrow morning when the contesters are on. All of a sudden, the band will be fixed.
Well, they probably won't have to deal with any Russian radar.
Well, you know, funny thing about that, Billy.
Right? It's really something.
Yeah, this is Iranian radar, and I don't know what they were doing. I heard them give a couple of blasts at a time down here this morning and disappeared. A couple of short blasts and they disappeared. Now I wasn't near the radio, so I don't know if they were conserving power or if they moved elsewhere, but haven't heard them on for some strange reason since I fired up. I don't know, Billy.
Yeah, that's the Son of Blue effect.
Yeah, Pete doesn't know what SOB stands for. He thinks it's a bad thing.
Well, that's kind of funny. You should probably just let that linger. How many people do know what it means?
Oh, I may have called it that a few times this week myself. I don't know who knows that. Probably me and you, and a couple of guys on 160 who have been paying attention, which is really no one.
Well, love-hate style relationships are the longest lasting ones.
Yes, you have makeup sessions with your amplifier. I don't know about that, Billy. Yeah, and talking about microphone technique, I don't know what the heck, it's really quite a difference in positive peaks here, depending on what I do. The ow, not true ow. By the way, I did roll a little bit of 80 hertz off of here because it sounded a little too tubby to me yesterday. So you may have noticed the difference.
Yeah, well, you're coming in way better today, so everything sounds really good. I did kind of notice that, though, but it was harder to tell yesterday. Like, you'd have to really exaggerate it, and then it's like, oh, yeah. But I kind of noticed that now that you've said it. I think I noticed a little more, but that was a good call. I did a little bit of that, too. Where am I rolling at? Yeah, like right around 80, 85 hertz, I'm taking, it's just a little 2 dB scoop out of there, but that's a semi-parametric band, so it's everything below 85. It's a shelving EQ on that band. There's no bandwidth control.
Yeah, gotcha. And I'm sure that completely would be completely different than what I'm doing here. I'm going to go back to my Behringer DSP 8024 for tone control here. I've got one here that I fixed. I bought it off of ePay for 25 bucks. And it was broken like they all are. And it's been sitting here working. I just haven't rammed it into the rack. And I'll take out this one that I have. Maybe I'll send you a picture of what I'm doing for tone control, and you can shake your head like, what's wrong with him?
I could shake my head all I want, but I can't say anything but you always sound awesome on the air. So whatever the hell you're doing, even if it doesn't work, it works, you know? That's the thing. You can't see all this stuff through the eyes of a textbook or some old dude who's gone. You got to decide for yourself what works and what doesn't. You got to separate yourself from all that stuff. Once you really understand it, you can separate yourself from what you've learned and really see what's going on.
I just go on the internet on ham radio websites and I look up what you can't do. That they tell you shouldn't do this and you definitely can't do that, and that's what I'm doing.
I think you've instilled like how much fun that is into me, because I look for that as well at this point.
There's a lot of it. I mean, you can't put a 7-element 10-meter monobander in a tree. That'll never work. Of course, they haven't seen my tree. And all the tag lines and the rope that you can pull an automobile with, they haven't seen any of that. And the truss that's on the antenna. And then you can't run a YC156 Eimac tube on 10 meters. That'll never work. And then you can't put plate transformers in parallel. That'll never work. The list goes on, Billy. Never mind the audio stuff that I can't be doing.
Yeah, it makes it more fun. It makes it a lot more fun, obviously for you, but for me too, just to watch it all happen and then try it myself and realize, like, wow, that's just not true. This stuff works really, really well. You just gotta, I don't know what would stop people from trying these things. They just read it or hear it and, like, that's it. They're just, you see, come right back to this. Don't trust, verify. Have you verified that that doesn't work? Well, okay, if the answer is yes, then the answer is yes. But in most cases, I think it would be like, well, no, but...
I got to put some pictures of my my tank coil out on the internet where people can comment about it.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
What the heck is that?
You can't do that. Plus, what's that? If you zoom in to the corner of that picture, I see a Cobra 29 on the shelf over this. Ban this man from the internet. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
Hey, I came up with, did I tell you about my new way of tapping really fat copper homebrew coils?
Is it mash a socket next to it or something along those lines?
No, just take a Dremel or an angle die grinder and cut a slot into the coil, not horizontally but vertically. If the coil is vertical, the linings are vertical. In other words, your coil is front to back longer than it is tall, if you will. So you vertically cut a slot along the travel of the coil, and you make that slot just wide enough, and you put your copper strap, you stuff it into that slot, and then slobber it. It comes out really nice, and it's a way higher current capability than it would be if you wrap around the coil and you got a screw there and it looks bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can picture that. That's legit. That's innovative. I like that. But copper coil wrapped around another one with enough slobber, it works well enough for Big Blue.
Yeah, well, that coil is a much larger diameter than what I'm using. And I mean, my goal there was to make it work, which it does. But my goal here was I wanted to be as efficient as it was down on the low bands. And I think I'm getting pretty close.
Yeah. You just have to get a feel for what kind of grid current. Oh, wait. Current? Yeah, see what happens? You see what kind of grid current that thing pulls. It seems like it's happy, though. Just got to get your relative feel for that. I think that's a good tube.
Yeah, W2 very weak. Well, it hasn't exploded. I don't smell too much of anything funny. I smell a tiny smell of something that smells like machine oil. That's it.
Well, it's probably machine oil burning off. Give it a week. See if you still smell it.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, anyway, I'm going to quit here and go see my radio widow upstairs.
Well, yeah, this highly successful 10-meter AM morning, and this is going to be a really fun one to listen back to.
I agree. That's just wonderful, man. Thanks for doing that YouTube live stream and the later on recording that's available. It comes in very handy for adjustments. But thanks again, Billy. It's been fun. 7-3 for now. Tomorrow morning is going to be probably wall-to-wall contesters on here, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to bother to go up 100 kilohertz because I'm out of slug, man. My slug is pulled out almost all the way, which is perfect because that's what you really want. You want the coil to be perfect. And it's so close to being perfect that I don't think I'm going to mess with it until I get it mechanically with the turns counter and all that, instead of just goofing around with it with the high voltage off. So, thanks again. Talk to you later. W2BTK. Have a great day up there from W2 Very Weird.
Yeah, man. All right. Enjoy. Maybe I'll catch you. I don't know. I'll be monitoring and stuff all weekend. Maybe I'll catch you. Good, well, it's not DX. Good ground wave OM. You know, Savanti Trace and all that. And my plan, when those caps that I ordered, the 10 puff ones, I got 2 of them from that dude. I'm going to leave a feedback like, you know, good shipping, fast product. These will work great in my wideband amplitude modulated transmitter. Let's see if I could. They'll love it. 7-3 W2VW from W2BTK.
All right. By the way, we're 122 kilometers apart there for the record. Yeah, stirring it up on eBay. Good job. Talk to you later. W2 very weak. Back to being an SWL.